Hello students, this is your teacher Manish, and in continuation with our Java playlist, today we are going to learn a very important concept of interfaces. We have seen a number of important concepts before this. We saw polymorphism, what is runtime polymorphism, what is compile time polymorphism. We learned what is inheritance. We also saw data encapsulation. So basically we saw the key object oriented concepts and how they are implemented in Java. Interface is one of the most important concept again. Okay, and let us understand what interface is. Interfaces are just like classes. Okay, so you can actually create interface. Okay, interface name, and then it is begin. You can have methods in interface, int void m1, but remember the instance methods which are in interfaces are actually abstract. They don't have any body within them. Okay, so suppose I have two methods declared in interfaces, then I don't implement those methods in interfaces. Interfaces are very abstract. Okay, now those classes which are going to implement this interface will actually have methods detailed out in them. So I can have, say for example, class name, right, and then implements is the keyword which is used to implement the interface. So this is interface name. Okay, and within this class then I will have to detail out my methods, right? So I have to now define and detail out the methods here. Similarly, I will also have to create, okay, the method 2. So all those methods which are there in the interface, and if this class implements this interface, all these methods have to be detailed out in this particular class. Okay, so remember one thing, the similarity between interface and class is interface will be again in .java file, right? So the way you have your classes written in java.java file, similarly interfaces are written in .java file. You have to compile an interface. So Java C is the compiler which you will use, and you will have to compile an interface, and similar to the class, okay, the interface also has a bytecode, okay, and a .class file gets generated. Okay, so this is the similarity between class and interface. Okay, but interface cannot be instantiated. Okay, so the way you can instantiate class by having objects, interface cannot be instantiated. So there are no constructors in interface. Okay, so this is dissimilarity between a class and an interface. A class can have or has constructors. If there is no constructor defined, it will have a default constructor, of course. So classes can be instantiated. Interface cannot be instantiated. Interface will not have details of instance methods. Interface will also not have any instance variables. So instance variables and instance methods, okay, are not there in interface. Interfaces will declare, okay, it will have the signature of instance methods, okay, but not the details. Details are in the class which implements that interface. So basically then what is interface? If you see, interface is a reference. Interface is a reference only. Okay, so all those classes which implement that interface actually refer to that interface. Okay, so what is the advantage of interface? The advantage of interface is the classes which are going to implement the interface needs to have all the methods detailed out in it. The method name and method parameters needs to be appropriately declared. If anything goes wrong, if for example method parameters, parameter type of method, instead of int it is changed to, say for example, float, immediately compiler will catch this error. Whereas if the classes are inheriting class, then instead of overriding, overloading will take place, and this will not get noticed during compilation. There will be a runtime error, and always remember, runtime errors are difficult to find. Hence interfaces becomes references. Interfaces ensures that compile time errors would come if implementation time anybody does any mistakes. Okay, another biggest advantage is, and which we have seen in inheritance, when we inherited one class from other, we use the word extends. Okay, so on the left side of extends you have actually a parent class, whereas on the right side you have the child class. So you actually have, say, parent, rather I would say child class, right, extends parent class. This is nothing but class name, right? Now in inheritance, we have seen inheritance in detail. If you have not watched that video, please go and see the inheritance video to get your concepts clear. Okay, in inheritance you can only inherit at a time from one parent class. Okay, whereas in interface, okay, so if I have a class implementing a interface, okay, I can actually have multiple interfaces here. Okay, they are separated by comma. So in fact multiple inheritance is possible through interface. Okay, class implements, okay, interface 1, interface 2. Now whatever methods that are declared in interface 1, okay, and whatever methods that are declared in interface 2, both together needs to be detailed out in this particular class which implements them, right? So without wasting much of the time, I am going to take a deep dive into coding. We will actually write an interface, we will implement that interface, we will also see the example of multiple interfaces, multiple inheritance, and we'll also see an example of static method which can be declared in an interface. So instance methods needs just to be declared with no details, whereas static method only can have details as well as declaration. Okay, so without wasting much of the time, let us get into the coding. So let us now start coding and writing actually interfaces. Okay, so as I said previously, okay, interface is nothing but a .java file. So I am going to create a .java file. Okay, so let me create an interface with name animal, right? So animal, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this, save as. Okay, it's nothing but a Java source code. Okay, so I'm going to save it as Java source file. Okay, and of course the name is going to be animal. All right, so here it goes. And now let us quickly code or declare the public void animal sound, okay, is 1 method, and I have another method called public void say sleep, right? So these are the two methods I have declared in the interface. Now all that I have to do is I have to save this interface. Okay, now I will create another Java file. Okay, and that Java file is nothing but a class, say for example class lion, and here I say I will implement class lion implements, okay, interface animal, right? So let me quickly go and save this as lion.java, which is nothing but a Java source file, right? And I'm going to quickly name this as lion, right? Okay, now what we need to do is we need to detail out, right, the two methods. So what is the first method? So animal sound. So public void animal sound, right? Okay, it doesn't have any parameters, so I'm just saying system dot out dot println. Okay, now I'm going to say a lion roars, right? That's it. And now another method we have public void, and what's that method? The name of that method is sleep. Okay, so I'm just going to detail out that method as well, right? And I'm going to say system dot out dot println, okay, lion sleeps, okay, and then end of the method. Now I need to have my I will probably end this class, okay, and I will create another class, right? My main class, and it will have my public static void main, public static void main, because this is my implementation class, string and args, right? I'm going to then create an object of type, okay, lion. So I'm going to do lion is the type of the class, of course it's the class, and then my lion is an object equals to new lion, right? And then I'm going to invoke both of my methods, right? So my lion dot, I would say animal sound, right? So I have invoked this method, and I will also invoke my lion dot sleep, right? So what I have done here is I have my lion class implementing the animal, and then my implementation class actually creating the object of type lion. Okay, so let us quickly save this. Okay, and all I have to do is I have to first compile my interface, and interface is nothing but okay, let us quickly show you what it is. So interface comprises of just definition of two methods. These are instance methods, and that is the reason why they are abstract in interface, right? And I have compiled it. So if you go and see, okay, I would have a class file created for interface, and here it is, a class file actually got created for interface, right? So after that I have to go and actually compile my lion.java. okay, so let us quickly see what happens. It got compiled successfully. Now when I need to execute it, I need to execute it with my class, so I will have to use my main class. I will have to run this, and that's where you will find, okay, that two system.out.println statements got printed, The first came from animal sound because I invoked animal sound using the object, and second came from sleep. Okay, so this is how I have inherited. Okay, so instead of, I would say, inheriting a class, a child class inheriting the parent class, I have actually a class implementing a interface. Okay, now we'll quickly create another program where actually I want to show you multiple inheritance. So we have seen that is a limitation in basically our inheritance, that is class extending a class. We can just have single inheritance, whereas in interfaces, using interface, we can achieve multiple inheritance. So let us quickly see that. Okay, so I am going to create an interface called first interface, right? Okay, so let me quickly save this again. Okay, just you have to remember that interface is very similar to what class is. It is created in .java source file. Okay, and you also you actually I've just missed giving the name, so I will give the name as first interface. Okay, now let me just declare one instance variable. So I have void, right, and I'm just saying my method, right? So now this is going to be the end of this interface. I just have one method declared in it. I'm going to save it. Now I'm going to open another, right, .java file, and in that I'm going to code interface my second interface. Okay, or rather I would say second interface. Okay, and begin. So I'm going to save this again as my Java source file, right? So let me quickly save this as Java source file. Okay, and I will give the name as second interface, right? Okay, now in this I will have just one more public void, okay, my other method, right? So I have abstract method declared in this interface, and that's the end of my second interface, right? Now I'm going to save this and open a third class, okay, or third Java file, and here I'm going to have class. So I'm going to say my demo class, okay, implements, right, first interface comma second interface. So this is how actually I am achieving my multiple inheritance, which was a limitation in our class inheriting a class, right? So I'm saving it as Java source file, and this will be my demo class, right? So if it is there, I will overwrite it, yeah, and then just going ahead. Now I need to detail out both of my methods, public void my method. So from first interface I have my method, which I need to detail out, okay, because it's just probably declared there, okay, and then I'm going to just say system dot out dot println, okay. In that I'm going to give some message that this is from my method, right? So end, this will be the end. Now I need to also go and declare my other method. So let us see what that name is. So it is my other method, and it's in other interface, right? But we are implementing two interfaces, so I need to now detail that as well. Okay, and system.out.println, and this I'm going to say this is from my other method, right? I'm just going to make O and M capital, and this is what it is. I'm going to finish this up. Now I need probably I need to have another class which will be implementation class, right? So just my main class, right? I'm going to have public static void main string args, right? And in that I'm going to create a object. Say for example, I'm creating an object called obj, and I'm just having the new instantiating that object with the default constructor. Okay, and all that I have to do is I need to actually invoke my methods, right? So I'm going to invoke my method once, and I'm also going to invoke my other method, right? And this, in this way, I have actually created a class, okay, which has, so forgot to put one thing, there's of course going to be a begin and end for public static void main, okay, and then I'm going to end this. Okay, so basically let us now quickly save this, and now we will have to do the compilation. So first what we'll do is, first we need to go and compile our interfaces. So I will compile our first interface .java first, right? And then I need to compile my second interface .java, okay, second interface .java, right? I will compile my demo class, which has actually implemented both the interface, and it has also got a implementation class in it, which is my main class. And now I will execute my main class. You know why you have to execute my main class? Because my main class is my implementation class having public static void main. And here you go. This is how I got the two printlns got printed. Now remember one thing, if my first interface would have had, say for example 10 methods, and second interface has 5 methods, then total 15 methods needs to be detailed out here. Okay, so my compilation will give error if I miss any of the methods, okay, any of the methods from any of the interfaces. If I miss detailing them, if I miss them, my demo class is not going to get compiled. Okay, so this is how we can achieve multiple inheritance. Okay, now what I am going to quickly do is I am going to show you one example of static method in interface as well. So again I am going to create a new interface. Okay, let us give that interface name as new interface, right? Okay, and I'm just going to save it as new interface, right? It's again, as I say, it's a .java file, so Java source. If you see, there is the way we create no difference between what a normal class is and what interface is. So new interface.java got created. Now what I'm doing is I'm declaring a method which is static. Okay, rather I would say static void, right? I'm just saying hello here, right? Now I'm putting system dot out dot println, I'm saying here say hello from interface, right? And I'm ending this, and now I'm also declaring one instance method, and the name of that method I'm giving it as other method, right? And there I will end it because it's an instance method, so it has only to be declared. Now I'm going to create a class which is going to implement this method. So public class, just giving a name as interface demo, implements new interface, right? So let me quickly go and save this, just saving it, and the name of this is class is interface demo. If it is existing, so sorry, I saved it as text, so I have to actually save it as Java source. So let me quickly go and save it as Java source. So if at all there is existing, we will override it. And I'm going to now have my implementation here, public static void main string args, right, begin. I'm going to create an object of type interface demo. In that, now I'm going to give the name as object is equal to interface new keyword is very important to instantiate an object. A default constructor gets called, right? And then I'm just going to invoke my static method. Now see how we need to invoke a static method. A static method can be invoked with a interface name dot interface name. Here is my interface name dot, right, method. So this is how my static method will get invoked, whereas my my instance method would actually get invoked. So what is the name here? Let's see what's the name of my instance method. It's other method, right? So I will put void public void other method. So it's actually, I'm just going to make it a small o here. I'm going to save this, made a minor change in my interface, other method, right? And now I have I will invoke this other method interface dot other method, right? Now I will end my public static void, right? Now let us see, just remember we need to detail out our other method because it's there abstract in my interface. So I have to detail out here, and I'm just going to say system dot out dot println. Let us do one thing. Probably what I can do is I will have a parameter also here. So let us actually go and create this, have this as a one parameter as string, and I will pass here a parameter saying hello, how are u other method, right? And what I will do here is I will just have the parameter declared, okay, and here, right, I have declared the parameter, and here I will say system.out.println str, right? That's it. Okay, so basically what I have done is I am invoking both static method as well as my instance method. Instance method is detailed out here. Now let us quickly go and compile. Okay, first I will have to compile my Java C new interface .java, right? So got compiled successfully, and my second is interface demo. So I'll just go and compile Java C interface demo .java, right? And oh, we got an error, and that error says public class interface demo interface Java line number 7. Okay, so let us see what that is. Okay, so other method, right, other method string new interface. This is not new interface here. Basically I will have to invoke it with obj. So after doing relevant changes in interface demo.java, let me quickly compile interface demo.java. Okay, so there was a minor error which we have removed, and now let us see what happens. Yeah, it got successfully compiled, and now I am going to execute interface demo.java and see the output. It's an implementation class, as we have main method in it. Okay, and now if you see, I get two lines which are printed. Okay, and if you see the first line, which is say hello from interface, is coming actually from hello method, which is here, which actually got invoked from the interface, new interface, and this method is a static method. So the way I have invoked it is I have used the interface name, new interface name .hello, whereas the other method is invoked with the help of object, which is obj, and other method is over here, which is detailed out in the same class. Okay, so in this video, students, we have seen all the details of interfaces. We have seen how to implement an interface. We have seen how to implement multiple interfaces in a class to achieve actually multiple inheritance, and we have also seen how we can have a static method in the interface and how we can actually implement that in a class. Okay, so with this I'm coming to the end of this video. In next video we will actually be talking about abstract classes. Okay, so friends, if you have liked this video, do like it, do share it, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe it. I hope you are enjoying this tour of Core Java, and we have many more interesting videos to come. So thanks a lot. Bye.